Welcome to Chronic Combat Conversations, a live look at our best bets, picks, and predictions for every UFC event. With your hosts, TV Scouting MMA and
The Guru back again for UFC Vegas 79. Rafael Fiziev taking on Mateus Gamrot in your lightweight bout. An awesome banger of a fight that we actually get to enjoy for 5 rounds if we get there. I can't believe it. TB, you just told me the number. Was it 17? Is it 17? 17 weeks in a row, 17 cards in a row, the longest streak in the 30-year history of the UFC. Is that what we're capping off tonight, my friend?
I am a little tired. It has been so many weeks in a row, 17 to be exact. This is the one. We're on an amazing run here from a content perspective, and we couldn't thank you guys anymore for joining us along the way. But yeah, I mean, listen, I'm looking forward to our week off next week, getting ready for the fall, for the winter, finalizing the rest of this UFC calendar year. So excited. And what better matchup to kind of close us out for a non pay per view for anything? I mean, this is just as good as it gets in the lightweight division. We got Fiziev and Gamrot, but before we can start the show, please, guys, there's one thing you can do to help us out. If you haven't done so already, please throw a like on the video. It helps recommend to so many other people and lets us know that you enjoyed the content. And also, if you haven't done so, please subscribe. Doesn't cost you anything. And we are so close to 500 subscribers. So make sure you're one of the few that helps get us across the finish line. So here we go. We are, without further ado, going to get into our main event of the evening. We got Rafael Fiziev Adaman versus Mateusz Gamrot. Pretty apropos nickname, at least on the Gamrot side. Adaman, I'm not sure. Is it like Attaboy, but like for a man, or is it? We'll need a translation.
No, it's from where I assume it's from where he's from in Kyrgyzstan. Probably something related to that.
Fair enough. But anyways, we got Fiziev at minus 155. Gamrot coming in at the plus 130. Over 4.5 at minus 105. The under 4.5 at minus 125. Man, I mean, this is just such a great matchup. Gamrot only a couple years older, has 2 inches in height here, but he even in the reach. I mean, these guys are as good of athletes as it gets in this division, but they both bring something distinct to the table. Guru, I think you were posting about it earlier. One of the aspects of the matchup that we're looking at here, but I mean, Fiziev, he's going to be happy to play the distance management game. Striking, high-level kickboxer, and Gamrot, man, he's just hell on wheels, a dog on a bone, looking to get to the single leg, the double leg, and get the fight to the mat at a high volume. Shout out chat, Mushroom MMA, what is up? We appreciate you joining us and appreciate everyone in the show right now. So make sure you're letting us know what your best bets are. Me, I think this is as even as a fight as you can get, but I think that Gamrot kind of brings more to the table from an all-around perspective. And seeing Fiziev kind of need to manage his cardio and manage his pace to be able to put up an above average pace, I don't think Gamrot gives you the time to do that. And unless you're going to hurt and knock down Gamrot early, he's going to get his pace working. So I got a feeling that Gamrot's going to get to where he wants to, at least by round 3. And I think his cardio is much better proven, and he's shown he can wrestle at a high level for a long time, even against a guy like Arman Tsarukyan. Give me Gamrot here at plus 130. I think Guru's got a solid prop as well. I'm going to pass it off here, Guru. What are you thinking?
What an interesting fight here. You've got the classic striker versus grappler matchup, right? Rafael Fiziev, somebody unbelievably technical, Muay Thai based. He's patient. He can be devastating. He's a tactician. He's a sniper. He's got everybody forgets when he broke the internet with his matrix bending backwards behind the kicks. I mean, he's fucking talented, man. Justin Gaethje fight as close as it fucking gets. I don't care what anybody says. Those 2 first rounds are as razor close. I don't want to be a judge in that fight. fuck that. I like being privy to the numbers and slowing it down and reading other people's opinions, like rewatching it. Tough fight. I think Fiziev showed off unbelievable grit and game planning this, right? Versus RDA. It's RDA. We picked RDA in that fight. Uh, Maybe it was 2-2 going into 5, but he put him away and he stuffed a ton of takedowns. Difference here, I think, majorly is the type of right. It's the type of matchup, right? While RDA went for a ton of takedowns, it's not the same type of takedowns that Gamrot goes for. It's not the same level of grappler. It's not the same commitment to the grappling game. You watch Gamrot go all out, balls to the wall, drive his hips, land a takedown, and start controlling Arman Sarukian in round 5. Can we like where's Arman Sarukian been, by the way? Like this should have been like his main event spot or something. Like I would have loved to see him fight. Do we not think that Arman Sarukian would cut through Fiziev? I mean, I kind of do. You really think his striking would like piece up Arman that badly? He wouldn't be able to get inside. I think he would. I think he'd take him down. I think similarly here, you have somebody in Gamrot that's going to come at such a high volume of takedowns that unless Fiziev literally puts him away, I just see him eventually succumbing to it. He's had to manage his own cardio. He's never faced a grappler again, like of this caliber, of this level, fighting Brad Riddell, Bobby Green, Moicano, Mark DeCasey. Mark DeCasey's the best wrestler he fought. Mark DeCasey's wrestling is fraudulent. He can't do it. He doesn't wrestle. And then you look on the other side, unfortunately for Gamrot, the fights he's lost or a ton of the fighters he's faced are just these top unbelievable grapplers in the division. Beneil Dariush, Scramble City, Arman Sarukian, Dark Horse to win the title. Love to see that Islam Makhachev rematch. Nobody's clamoring for that. I wonder why. Diego Ferreira fight. Guram Kutateladze. He hasn't fought the pure crazy striker like Fiziev or like Fiziev even has in Justin Gaethje. So it's super interesting that they both really haven't faced the highest level of what each other has to offer, which is why I think this fight is so exciting. But it's what brings me to my prop on this fight. These guys are both tough as shit. Super, super tough. Fiziev not finished by Gaethje. Gamrot not finished by Arman Sarukian. Not finished by Jalen Turner. I mean, I get knocked down, but I get up again. You know what I'm saying? Like, he keeps coming. So Fiziev, not necessarily somebody known for his one-hitter quitter knockout ability. He's really seemed to done it with volume, with patience, with pressure. So even if you like Fiziev, I still think it comes later. Either way, I kind of lean on the dog. I think both guys, like I said, extremely durable, extremely tough. Give me fight goes the distance at plus money. I only have seen one book, I believe, with it at plus money. So get in on that.
I love it. Yeah, I totally agree because while we've seen Gamrot kind of hurt before, I think a lot of it is him getting caught off balance, charging in aggressively for takedowns, and kind of, trying to put on a forward pressure and pace. Every time he gets knocked down, the dude is jumping onto a single leg or something immediately after. I don't think Fiziev has that type of finishing on the ground. You brought up so many good points. Ghost, shout out in the chat. He is a weird one. Phenomenal chain wrestling and takedown, trouble controlling people on the ground, but really the trouble, like Guru was talking about, it comes against these uber scramblers. I mean, Diego Ferreira, how many degrees is his black belt in jiu-jitsu? Arman Sarukian, the wrestling and scrambling doesn't get any better. Beneil Dariush, how many ranks does he have on his black belt? And then listen, Jalen Turner, I mean, you saw it on Dana White's Contender Series last night. When you're a jiu-jitsu practitioner or a wrestler and you're facing someone that's like 8 inches longer reach than you, it is really hard to keep them down for an extended period. So I got to give Turner some credit.
Especially when you're as athletic and explosive as Jalen Turner.
That's it. So yeah, I mean, listen, got to go with the Gamrot side here, especially at plus money, and especially in the small cage.
Small
Um,
cage.
yeah. So shout out the chat here. Teep Kick MMA, always a great show. Fire emojis. Thank you so much. We appreciate you tuning in. JH, Dana's about to go live to announce Colby versus Leon officially. You heard it here first. Oh, check that out. Look at that. That would be exciting. Is that MSG or is that December card? We talked Ghost. I really appreciate his scouting and eyes. And Camber, what's going on? Appreciate you. And Gamrot or die, baby. Let's get it. So, all right, we're moving on to our next fight. Hey, listen, if you haven't liked the show so far, you're doing the wrong thing. There's more people in here right now than have liked the show. So make sure you do the right thing. Throw a like. It costs you nothing. We're moving along. We got the co-main event. It's Thug Nasty versus 50K. We got Bryce Mitchell versus Dan Ige in the featherweight co-main event. Minus 205 on the Thug Nasty side. Plus 170 for Mr. 50K. The over 2.5, however, is minus 245. Under 2.5 at plus 185. Again, I mean, the line earlier in the week, even before that, opened up about what? Bryce Mitchell about minus 125 or so, steadily climbing here to the minus 205 line. I get it. You turn on the tape for Dan Ige, you could see multiple guys. I mean, Mirsad Bektic, Movsar Evloev. You see a lot of guys having wrestling success against Dan Ige and getting some control time, putting him in some bad positions. Bryce Mitchell, you know he loves his wrestling, and that's what he's coming out here to do. He does have some nice in and out movement, being able to go back and forth, use his kind of distance and athleticism to manage the range against lesser opponents. I just don't think that style is going to be successful here against Dan Ige, who's much better boxer when things get into range here. So ultimately, I feel like Bryce Mitchell here. If I could count on him keeping to an offensive wrestling game plan and also like trust him to be 100%, I would feel better about the minus 205. It's just, man, I know where this line open, and I know if this thing stays on the feet, Danny Gay is going to make it hell on wheels for Bryce Mitchell. Anytime this enters the pocket and gets into an exchange, Ige's got the faster hands. He works body head combos and all the same type of stuff that Ilya Topuria did successfully. It's just he doesn't have the same type of athletic hips that prevent takedowns from his opponents. And that's what scares me here. But when you're talking from a money line perspective, I'm interested in the Dan Ige side. It's just tough to give all the reasons why I picked Mateusz Gamrot and not end up picking Bryce Mitchell
Yeah.
as like the straight pick here in this fight.
No, exactly. And one of the things you didn't touch on, and one of the reasons why I would be so close to taking Danny Ige is, God, do I love Eric Nixick in his corner. Him and Eric Nixick are unbelievably close. So that's one of the very good reasons why I would consider Danny Ige. Whenever you have Eric Nixick in your corner or you're training at Extreme Couture, you've definitely got a freaking shot in this fight. And Danny Ige, I think even without it, he'd have a shot in the fight. He's a fantastic fighter, very good all around. My biggest problem is, unfortunately for Dan, is his kryptonite is his takedown defense at around 55%. And Bryce is just somebody with volume takedowns. There's just no way around it. It's going to be fairly close pace wise on the feet. You even saw Bryce trying to keep up with Ilya Taporia, just taking too much damage. He kind of almost does until he gets kind of hurt and tired. He is hurting Ilya. Ilya's over swinging, trying to get him out of there. If Bryce was maybe more prepared, like you're saying, he might have been able to take him out. I still kind of think that. But at the same time, I
I
mean,
don't.
I get it.
That was
I
my
get it.
initial God's gift of minus
No,
142
yeah,
per.
no,
Yeah.
I get it. And especially the way he blew the doors off of him when it got on the ground, the way that Bryce crumbled after 7 minutes was extremely problematic, which is where we get around to this line at minus 205. Listen, if you got in early on Bryce Mitchell, I really like it. Maybe anything under minus 170 is fair money. I think after that, now we're getting a little steep. And let me tell you something else. At minus 200, I would much rather play this fight going the distance, because these are two tough son of a bitches. Like, Ilya Taporia hits really fucking hard. And yes, so does Dan Ige. But I really think that Ilya Taporia is, like, I mean, next up. he's really next up. He's a special talent, and it took me the Bryce Mitchell fight to see it, like to
So,
truly see it.
and yeah,
So
you even compare like their two Josh Emmett fights. Like Dan Ige looks pretty good in 2 of those rounds. Ilya Topuria absolutely mops the floor with Josh Emmett for
right.
5 rounds.
So if Danny Ige could stuff takedowns or get back up, I really would be considering
He can
him
get
more.
back up. He showed it against Evloev.
Yeah, but
He's been
Evloev,
improving that part of his game. And I think
yeah.
Evloev's a better athlete than Bryce now. But
But
is
think
he a
about
better control guy?
they tried. Remember how many times they tried to book the Bryce Mitchell Evloev fight? So
Yeah. Well,
you
what's
know,
going on with Bryce Mitchell as far as health? Because he had to pull out of some stuff with like some disc issues in his back. He also has like spent most of his time training AJ Cunningham to suffer like 5 concussions on Contender Series. How successful of a grappling and training opponent is that? But I think I mean Bryce is going to come in here, and if he gets that offensive wrestling and top control going, like you said, I don't think he's finding a
I
finish. And
expect him. He's 3 inches taller. I expect him to look bigger when they stand up next to each other.
yeah,
Like
he
just like bigger. Like, oh, okay, damn. And listen, Dan's a pretty stacked guy, but I just think Bryce's technique, even like if you really like Dan Ige, I think you're taking, and this is a bet we never talk about or play. I think you take Dan Ige like plus 3.5. Like I think you bet him to win a round because I think he
right.
could maybe win some round with damage, but at some point Bryce is just gonna leg lace him and just be on top of him, and that's gonna be the whole round from there.
What's I'm curious. I like DraftKings legit just posted the props. So Dan Ige plus 3.5 is minus 125, and Bryce Mitchell by decision. Like what's
Danny
the?
Gay
It's
plus 3.5 is minus 140. What are you looking at?
I said plus 3.5.
Yeah,
Oh whoa.
Danny Gay plus 3.5 is minus 140, not minus
I
125.
just reloaded the page from earlier, and the line moved.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Because like I said, minus 125 is a fantastic line. Minus 140 is a little bit more steep because, like I said, it's a good fucking bet. You'd imagine that Danny Ige can win one round.
Yeah, I think he's better than Charles Rosa.
A
He'll
lot better than
survive
Charles.
and he'll win a round. I like that idea. But will the judges give him the round? That's the other question. Playing around with these scorecard bets with these judges, oh my god, you really got something coming to you. So I just like the fight goes. I think you're right there. If anyone's getting a finish, it's Dan Ige. So like Ige by finish only, if that tickles. But fight goes. Finish only is minus 125 for Ige. He's not tapping to anything Mitchell puts in there, and Bektic had him in as deep and as athletic of an arm triangle choke you could possibly put him in, and he didn't tap. I mean, yeah, Bryce Mitchell, yeah, he's got one of the guys that's got a twister, but at the same time, like, so does Damon Blackshear. But then when you step up and face a real opponent, you don't get a twister on a real opponent.
Yeah.
Famous last words for TB?
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I do like fight goes the distance at minus 200 more safely than Bryce Mitchell at minus 200, but I still think Bryce is fairly safe, and I still like the Ige plus 3.5 because I think he wins around.
Last question before we move on: is Dan Ige another TB doppelganger or not quite?
He's too brown for you.
All right, fair enough. I am one of the palest people out there. All right, we're moving on. We got our strawweight rematch that everyone just needed to see. Last time it was a main event.
I heard everybody was clamoring for this one.
I said, listen, we only got 5 last time. Now we need 3 more. Jesus Christ. We got Mean Mahina Rodriguez.
I actually do. Can we do we actually understand why they booked this? There's so many strawweights. I don't why did they rebook this? I don't get it.
Honestly, I
explain it to me?
I really don't understand it, quite frankly.
It's not that somebody was clamoring for it.
It makes no sense. They probably were so desperate to book a fight, and they knew that these two wouldn't be afraid to just have another sparring match for 15 minutes and just kind of like. Mean Mahina Rodriguez. I mean, she's getting slapped in the face by her dad/coach as she's coming into the octagon each time, right? That's the way that she gets pumped. And then the karate hottie, or the karate mommy now. Husband. Yeah. Michelle Watterson Gomez. You take my last name. plus 250, over 2.5 at minus 395. By God, I mean, it's going to hit under 2.5 at plus 280. It's Marina. It's the fight goes. It's over. If Luana Pinheiro wasn't able to finish Waterson Gomez, then I don't think Marina is. Especially that she wasn't able to do it with the 5 round she had last time. And there I was sitting with my Marina inside the distance ticket last time, like a dumbass.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I mean, it was like some little, like, but
It's always something little with you.
yeah, oh my God. Yes. Thank you, Ghost. This is really, Marina follows people around. Waterson Gomez kicks air. This fight is literally just going to be, I think last time Marina ate one too many calf kicks at one point, and I was like, oh, fuck. But then she was just like fine, and then ended up, it was like round 2 that I was
Okay,
getting.
here's the wrinkle if you're not going to bring it up.
Wrinkle me.
Round 4.
Oh.
Karate Hottie finally lands her takedown and then spends the entire round in top control, over 3 minutes. Marina Rodriguez is a fucking turtle. And here's the kicker. Here's the caveat.
Oh no.
Waterson, like Holly Holm, has like completely changed her game from kickboxer to grappler wrestler. If she can really get going with the wrestling, I swear she needs 2 takedowns. That's it. Just 2. She gets 1 in each round, one round, 1 in the next. She will win the rounds. That's it. That's all she has to do to break this fucking minus 310 parlay piece. Don't touch it. Don't parlay it. Don't fucking no. The pick is Marina. I'm gonna circle Marina. But I'm telling you right now, do not be surprised if Michelle Waterson comes out in knee pads and puts on her wrestling shoes. I'm serious, because the only reason I think this would make sense is like Michelle's asking for it. Because like, oh, I did tape. Okay, I see that she can get taken down, and let me go out and do it. Let me go win a fight. Because Waterson, when was the last time Waterson won a fight? She beat Angela Hill, but did she? Like, otherwise, it's been 2019 versus Karolina Kowalkiewicz.
All right,
Horrific.
listen. I know you talked about it, and she's a turtle when she gets down to the ground. But there's a reason why she has a couple draws in the UFC, is that she's actually not that bad at stuffing initial takedowns. It's just when she does get to the mat, it's like, I'm just going to throw elbows from my back and hope for the best. That's where it doesn't work out so nice.
Right, but let's be real. Like, again, who is she stuff? She's like the Yan Xiaonan fight, who, like, again, I'm not sure that she won that fight. And then Mackenzie Dern, who has some of the worst mixing up of her takedowns in all of the UFC. And I'm not saying that Waterson is, I mean, she's basically right in that realm anyway, but she got one. So go out there and get 2. You're not telling me if they book Marina Rodriguez versus Mackenzie Dern 2 that you still wouldn't take your shot on Dern? I don't know. I'm not sure that was necessarily the wrong side. Dern has continued to make improvements. Blah, blah, blah. Different fight that we're not talking about. So listen, Waterson's 37. I'm not expecting her to make crazy improvements, leaps and bounds. Just go out and land 2 takedowns. If she's going to go kick it air, she should be minus 3,000.
Yeah, Marina's the pick. I'm not living in La La Land.
Of course she's the pick.
But yeah, you're right. I don't need substantial money or an official.
It's not like last, guys. And this is kind of what I'm saying. It's not like last week where basically you had a handful of minus 2, 3, 400 favorites you could have parlayed safely in any which combination and been safe. This is not that fight. I really just don't think so.
Fair enough. I appreciate that, because there's no way you expect to finish. And why would you bet a minus 310? That's not expected to get a finish. So we move on here. We got Pooh Bear, Brian Battle versus the Ghost of Tsushima, AJ Fletcher. Welterweight matchup here. Brian Battle going to have a 3-inch height advantage, a 10-inch reach advantage. Man, I think AJ Fletcher, there's one thing I was looking for in this fight, and I know he's got the wrestling, but God damn it, I can't trust him to do it for more than 5 minutes with any type of cardio, especially against a bigger guy. I don't think he's going to knock out Brian Battle. I really don't. Battle seems to have improved kind of his pocket awareness and ability to counter nicely. So I think if Fletcher really tries to make this an ugly fight, it's not going to work out so well from him. And I think ultimately Pooh Bear going to be one of those guys that he's going to get the round 2/round 3 finish. And I think he's going to look convincing in doing so. It's just the issue for him here is that the first round, it could look a little like the Zellhuber Yagos type of idea, where it's like maybe you just want to wait and get in at that like 3 or 4 minute mark of round one before AJ Fletcher starts slowing down and starts realizing he's the much smaller guy. Like the fire hydrant thing, like works against low level opponents. It's just Brian Battle's finished multiple people at the UFC level. I think he finds another one here. It's just Fletcher's also never been finished. That's another interesting wrinkle in the fight. So, is it just a battle by decision? The over 2.5 and minus 105. The pick here is battle. I'm just not sure the exact method I think he gets it done. Do you have any better insight on that, Guru?
What specifically?
On
The
if
fight?
this, yeah, no, specifically on the winning method here for
On the
Brian
winning
Battle.
method specific. Oh wow. Well, who
Yeah.
says I'm on Brian Battle?
Well,
What if
this
I
is
think what if I think AJ Fletcher is gonna get cardio out of nowhere and wrestle him for 15 minutes straight?
well
I don't.
then
I don't think that.
nice. Okay. So, anyways, back to my original question that you ignored to start off. The question was, so I'm
I
picking
think he
Brian
decision makes
Battle.
him. I think
There
AJ
you go.
Fletcher
Thank you.
is got a really strong chin. He's got that like blockhead. He's tough as nails. He's gritty. He's a dog. He fights for your money. And I think that's why you'll see a couple people taking AJ Fletcher as a dog because he is a fucking dog. And I get it. Um, but at the same time, he was a moderate favorite over Themba Gorimbo. And he doesn't even, if you guys watch that fight, like he doesn't even really get his wrestling going per se. He's striking with Themba, and then he gets taken down and then reverses the position and then ends up in a guillotine. Then Themba shoots and he guillotines him. Like he didn't do what you'd be betting on him to do in this fight. So that's not a good sign for me. So I don't really like that. So
Not
that's one of
ideal.
the yeah, exactly. So that's one of the reasons why I'm not on it. Uh Brian Battle, somebody that generally looks terrible cutting this weight. He looked terrible versus Gabe Green. He missed weight versus Gabe Green. He knocked out Gabe Green in 14 seconds. Brian Battle is somebody who's shown uh, that he just kind of overperforms. He's a fairly well-rounded guy. He's not necessarily the most athletic. He's not necessarily the strongest. He's not necessarily the fastest. But by God, the results seem to speak for themselves at this point. A tough championship, 4-1 in the UFC, one loss to Renat Fakhretdinov, who, again, he didn't get finished by, and Renat's a fucking savage. So more credit to Brian. I think he's a fairly safe parlay piece at this in this card.
Juncture.
Sorry, got juncture card right on this card minus 175. Hey, if you have a lot of money, why not lay it straight up? Yeah, I think it goes over Brian Battle and over 1.5. I think that's a good parlay piece because, like I said, AJ Fletcher, tough as nails, hasn't been finished, not finished by the hard-hitting Semmelsberger, one of his fights with 1,000,000 knockdowns, and then Angelosa, another hard hitter, good grappler. So, give me Brian, give it over 1.5.
James Kendrick, shout out. Join in the chat. Fanboy of the Ghost. Did you know Marina turned down a fight with Weili last year at Singapore? I didn't know that. Ghost in the chat, not AJ Fletcher. Love it. Yeah, Ghost does amazing scouting breakdown threads. So really get that. And does Brian Battle like to sit on bottom position? I don't think he necessarily enjoys it. I just think like a guy like Renat that was hurting him on the feet and bigger than him and wrestling him was not so enjoyable, and like sitting in bottom is kind of the safest place at that point. But he was trying to fight to get back to his feet and do so. So like, got to give Battle some credit for having some like wherewithal to stay in the fight. But ultimately, yeah, I think Battle is going to show kind of the chops that he used against Petrosky in their tough matchup to stay on the feet in most circumstances. And when Fletcher gets tired, I wouldn't even be surprised if Battle was able to sink in a submission at some point. Yeah, so we'll move right along here. We got our featherweight disaster of a matchup in Ricardo Ramos, the Revolver, versus Charles Air Jourdain. Mr. Ramos is going to try throwing about 10 spinning back elbows in this fight, and Charles Air Jourdain is going to throw about 10 flying knee attempts in this fight. So there's going to be some memeable moments. I think the real question comes down to is Ramos going to put in a real wrestling takedown approach, or is Jourdain? Yes, you have a question, Guru. Can I help you?
Where did you get Revolver from? What is that?
Because he keeps on spinning with them back elbows. He's a revolver.
No.
He didn't have a nickname. What do you expect me to
Yes,
do?
he does. It's Carachina.
What?
Carchachina. That's his nickname.
It's not on UFC stats.
I don't care. It's on
So he
Tapology.
got a
It's
TB nickname. It's
Cartagena.
better.
It's Cartagena.
The Revolver.
It's Cartagena. If Cartagena is revolver in Portuguese, you can have it.
Oh my god. All right. Well, anyways, is Ricardo Ramos even going to make weight here?
Yes. I'm gonna go with yes. Oh yeah, he had a fight versus Austin Lingo canceled. Oh my god, he missed by 10 pounds. I forgot about that. That's fucking hysterical. I think he just I don't know. Maybe he just got the contract wrong and it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
And he missed by 9 pounds.
it was bad. It was le bad. I wanted how much in that fight
It was
too.
bad blue.
Yeah. Yes. But okay. Anyways, so how much here? I mean, the question is, he's got some fun striking when he can get it going. It's just I don't trust him to do it consistently against someone that has actually shown to have damaging strikes from like a technical perspective when he's not throwing flying knees.
Ricardo Ramos's like damage comes from completely crazy, unorthodox, like just nonsense, right? Spinning elbows, just crazy spinning shit. Honestly, it's just what he loves to do. And if we're actually talking about it in a more technical point, which is so funny, the person with more controlled chaos is somehow Charles Jourdain in this fight. And it's actually gonna right? How fucking funny is that? But it's the truth.
Pretty nuts.
But it's the truth. He looks so fucking thick versus oh my god.
Jeez, you need to chill. You're getting way too excited about that.
Looks so vascular versus fucking Kron Gracie. And I like him. He's got a much higher pace than Ricardo Ramos. I think he has better striking defense. You look at Ricardo Ramos versus Zabira Tukugov, and it's the constant pace and pressure and the jabs to the face of Ricardo Ramos that trouble him in that fight, damage him early, and he's just really never able to get his footing and recover. And I could kind of see Charles Jourdain doing something similar. He showed somewhat improved takedown defense, a little bit anyway. Not
against
really.
Kron Gracie.
Yeah, not really. Who's
I would like to apologize for picking Kron Gracie in that fight.
Yeah,
that was
not
disgusting.
really. Listen, it's Shane Burgos is a tough fight. Nathaniel Wood is super tough fight. So I think this is a good chance for Charles Jourdain to show the improvements he's made against a guy that he's been way more active than. But at the same time, you look at Ricardo Ramos, his losses, while Zabira Tukugov maybe isn't the best anymore, so to speak. I always thought kind of highly of him before his cardio issues, malcontent issues. But Lerone Murphy, Said Nurmagomedov, I mean, can we really shit on the guy for those losses? Not really. It's just the problem is his wins have been against Kung Ho Kang, Eamon Zahabi in a tough fight, Journey Newsome, bottom of the barrel, Eduardo Garagori, not even in the UFC, and probably didn't belong in the first place. Actually, I'm fairly certain I know he didn't. Bill Algio's probably his best win. But then again, Danny Chavez is over a year ago, and Danny Chavez is bottom of the barrel, man. So I'm taking Charles due to just activity and like we've talked about, just the actual more technical control chaos. Yeah, he kind of that's fucking hysterical. God, PC, I love you, man. It's been a while since we've seen you in the chat.
Appreciate you. He's big time now. He's kind of the
title holder. Right. You're the title, the champ. PC Sean Strickland champ.
If your pick doesn't hit, so appreciate you, James. If you haven't already, guys, please throw a like. Please subscribe. Appreciate all of our new friends in the chat. If you're a friend of Dan, Tom, and Gus, you're a friend of the channel. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
And yeah, I tried looking up Karshashinya, the quote unquote actual nickname according to Guru of Hakoto Hamosh. This shit doesn't even translate. Like I don't even have it. I need help. Where are my Portuguese friends? Where's what's his name? The amazing translator from the UFC. Where's Fabiano?
Didn't you friend him on Facebook? Ask him.
Fabiano Buscai. Yeah, that's right. We're buddies now. But anyways, so yeah. Well, so yeah, if you haven't done it, you're messing up. We're having fun. It's a great time. Come hang out with us. Let us know in the
It's a
chat what you got
great
going now.
day.
Paul Craig and friends. Please like and subscribe. Do the right thing. It costs you nothing. So close to 500. And yeah, we're gonna keep on rolling. We got Dan the Determined Argueta versus Miles Chapo Johns. Oh man, Dan Argueta at minus 185, Miles Chapo Johns at plus 154, over 2.5 at minus 180, the under 2.5 at plus 140. There's really one thing that I use to break down this matchup. Miles Johns, he's got like all the skills you would want on paper. And when he puts it all together in like a good matchup against someone that's like willing to let him get his pace together. I mean, Miles Johns looks like one of those guys that like, oh man, he could go a long way. He's got some skills. He's still young in the division. And then it's just like you watch him against higher level guys, he's just so low output, doesn't really attempt much in his own right, and just ends up kind of succumbing to the pressure of some of his higher level opponents. His losses have come by finish. It's certainly not ideal, and Dan Argueta not necessarily the best finisher, but he's like kind of like one of those Mateusz Gamrot type of ideas where the dude is just absolutely relentless when it comes to his pace and pressure. And he might not be the most dangerous on the feet, but he's willing to get in your face and make it happen. I know, like Mario Bautista, damn good fighter. Sexy Mexi Castaneda, also a pretty damn good fighter. But I think Dan Argueta, his pace and pressure and his physique let him have an ability to just put it on his opponents. I don't think Miles Johns is going to like what he gets here. I like Argueta as the favorite. I'm just afraid to really have him as a super confident money line play, given it's kind of a wide line here at minus 185. But oh my God, yes, PC, that's amazing. He's not relentless. He's determined. That's so good. So yeah, I think Mr. Determined gets it done here. Thank you, PC.
God damn it. Yeah, PC's right. Listen, there's people I respect on Miles Johns here. He's super middling. There's just not much I like about his pace isn't even very high, right? Like he's just kind of average. And when you see somebody like Dan Argueta, he's not average in his pace, and he's not average in his, I was going to say relentlessness, which is hysterical, but his determination.
His determination.
He's not. It's just not average. And you watch his fights. You can't take anything away from facing Damon Jackson on short notice up a weight class, like, and then he beats Nick Aguirre, who you want to talk whatever shit about. That's fine, but he still beats the dude up a weight class, and hysterically didn't realize he was gonna fight Isaac Dolgarian, which you were totally right, TB. I mean, that would have been, even though again,
Oh my God.
even though Dan's again a great wrestler in his own right, he'd have no chance versus Isaac Dolgarian, especially since we've seen Dan Argueta, like as good as he is, as thick as he is, man, does he need to be at bantamweight? He is just too small and not strong enough for featherweight, at least as, a fairly young guy. Beats Ronnie Lawrence. I don't care that the guy took the sub out too early. He was going to beat Ronnie Lawrence, and we got bailed out there, quite honestly. So I was very happy about that. And I'm not making that mistake here. I don't really respect Miles Johns' knockout ability, right? Like if he's not a grappler, right? If he's not looking to offensively wrestle you, and his takedown defense isn't great, like, okay, you better have really great power. Okay, so he knocked out Kevin Natividad and Anderson Dos Santos both in round 3. Those guys were exhausted. and you didn't finish Vince Morales.
That's sketchy.
So there's just nothing. The best win of his career is a split decision in LFA versus Adrian Yanez.
Oh,
That's the
wait.
best win of his career.
We need to talk further about the Vince Morales fight.
Sure.
I think Vince Morales has an argument for having won that fight
I
because
think
Miles
that's fair
Johns
too.
does absolute jack shit throughout the entire thing. This is what I'm talking about. Even against guys like Vince Morales, he's afraid to pull the trigger, afraid to. He's got 36% striking in that fight against Vince Morales.
Right.
What is going on, Miles?
Dan is just going to keep coming. Like, he shoots at such a high level. He throws at such a high pace.
Miles Johns went 1 of 12 on takedowns against Vince Morales. Disgusting.
To me, he kind of feels like the Roman Kopylov of like this week. Like, he just feels really safe to me.
Safety on. All right. Hey, we agree, man.
Because again, and Dan, look at Dan's fucking chin. He looks like handsome Squidward. I'm pretty sure I called Dan handsome Squidward on Twitter, and he liked it, so I can say that. But yeah, I mean, dude's got a fucking chin. So Chapo's not knocking him out. So let's go with Dan. Dan by decision. Dan over 1.5.
All right. No, I can't let it go because Miles Johns, he only ever loses by finish and like by giving it up. Could he not get finished here? Another like little subby action? If he gets exhausted from the pace?
Flying knee knockout from Mario Bautista.
Right, that's one thing.
And the arm triangle choke from Castaneda.
Because he was tired from Castaneda pace, or did he hurt him first? You know what I mean? Castaneda knocked him down first, so fair enough.
Castaneda has much better boxing.
Yeah,
I think Argueta is just more like on top. So, but again, are you telling me that, Guru, do you not want to play a round 3 decision prop? Like, of course I do. Of course I want to play a round 3 decision.
Now we're talking.
Of course I want to play Argueta over 1.5.
Fair enough. Love that.
I feel very determined to make some money on this fight.
You dirty bird. Oh, wow. That brings us to our next fight. We got Tim Means, the dirty bird, versus Andre, the untitled Fialho. I couldn't even think of anything good here, man. I really couldn't.
The dirty bird.
The dirty bird. Because the dirty bird carries enough for both guys.
A bird. A bird is the word.
So what do you got here, Guru? Tim Means, Andre Fialho. I mean, Tim Means is like 10 years older, 2 inches taller, 1 inch reach. He's got all the experience in the world, but he's also got all the experience of being finished recently.
Talk about you guys want to talk about a meme fight? Let's talk about a meme fight. This is about to be a meme fight. This is like near drunk dad's backyard brawling over some little league. Like, this is about to be some shit, because let's be fair, right? Tim Means is as tough as they come, but he's gotten choked out by Alex Morono, who again is super unorthodox and difficult to deal with. A barn burner tough fight with Max Griffin. I thought he lost, but some people I heard are saying he won. And okay, he loses to Kevin Holland. Why did they even book that fight? That was very unfair. So, also getting choked out by Daniel Rodriguez, has been knocked out by Nico Price. His durability has kind of been gone. He's been finished a lot. But let's be fair about what Andre Fialho is. He's a glass cannon. He likes to walk forward. He's got very simple boxing, and he is a boxing incarnate UFC fighter. I mean, there is very little MMA to his game. Right? He's one of the most one-dimensional strikers I've ever seen ever in the UFC. And let's be fair about his wins. He beat Miguel Baeza, and that was the fight. Everybody was like, whoa, Miguel, he's a prospect. He's good. The Camel Thunder. Ugh. That guy's fucking nobody. Like, he's bad. Cameron Van Camp, they cut him. He's gone. He couldn't even get a cup of coffee in the UFC. Gone. Now he's on 3 fights. They've both lost 3 fights in a row. But again, all against 3 tough guys. Jake Matthews, Muslim Salikov, Joaquin Buckley. They line this fight over 1.5, under 1.5. I love that. I think they had to. but by God, give me over 1.5. Tim Means has a chin. The problem is he gets kind of hurt to the body and then choked out. This guy's not choking you out. He wants to KO you. He wants to just hit you in the face. He's not even going to work the body. He's not going to throw leg kicks. There's no threat of wrestling. There's no threat of submission. It gives Tim Means a chance to survive. Give me 7.5 minutes. That's it. Just give me crazy.
All right. We got to have a conversation.
Tell me about it.
We're having a conversation. So, Andre Fialho, I'm trying to get the exact numbers here, but like the vast majority of his wins are round 1 knockouts.
Yeah,
vast majority.
Right, fine. I was trying to be divergent, and the problem with that, and the problem is that look at his finishes. He literally likes to die right before that 1.5 mark. He's dying at 209 round 2, 128 round 2. He's losing just after to Daniel Rodriguez round 2, Nico Price round 1, like I said. Oliveira 8 seconds over round 2. It's so close.
Yeah, I mean, Fialho is one of those guys that's an absolute headhunter. He doesn't throw strikes to any other levels. He's very predictable in what he does, but he's like just a good enough athlete to like walk through Tim Means and just finish him before things even really get going.
Well, but again, like I said, though, I just don't. Tim Means gets hurt to the body. He has to really get hurt. He's still got a good chin. And then when you look at Fialho, yes, that's his wins. I mean, I don't know that he necessarily wins. He should, and I just think it comes a little later, even if it does. The small cage continues to help your point, in my opinion. I just you look at Andre Fialho's last 3 fights. 2 out of 3 of them make it. The Jake Matthews fights misses by 6 seconds. So, and then his Michel Pereira debut is a decision. So,
right, but in that case, you're picking Tim Means because the fight's going over 1.5. Like, you understand that the consequences of your decision, right? You get what I'm saying, right? Because Andre Fialho is going to finish Tim Means in the first. Because that's what. But listen, he finished James Vick in round 2, so you might not be wrong about the round 2 aspect.
Yeah,
but I think the pre.
You're right. Okay, you're right.
The pre-fight bets are Andre Fialho round 1, Andre Fialho round 2. Add the round 2 in there; it's probably plus 1,000 and worth it. You bet those two props individually.
Don't even do that. FanDuel will let you do the KO grouping parlay. So do the round 1, round 2 KO group parlay on FanDuel. Boom. And then, no, that's it. You're right. I don't really want to play Tim Means here.
No, Tim Means looks like he steals other fighters' equipment in the locker room. Hey,
and
Tim,
just to like smell it.
Where's my cup? What? All right, 6. So we will move along here. Sorry about the slander here for Tim Means, but we appreciate you, Brad.
Listen, he's a dirty bird.
We're moving on here. We got Jacob.
Get out of here with these fucking nicknames.
Jacob Mamba Malkoon. That's his actual nickname, bro. Versus Cody the Bruiser Brundage, or is it Cody Rhodes Brundage, like our buddy Lou Betcha tweeted out? I went with the Clint suggestion. I was originally thinking Cody Bulldog Brundage. I'm just saying the guy needs a nickname. All right.
How about Cody? I like to jump Gilly.
I was gonna almost do the French executioner and make you guess that it's because of the guillotine, but that would have been too much work, so I didn't do that. And here we are. But do you guys think Fialho hits harder than Perry, who Dirty Bird was able to survive? Yeah.
No, that's my point.
But we're also like 3 or 4 years later, and Morono just dropped Tim Means in his last fight.
That's the problem. But what Justin's highlighting is just because you've seen a lot of shit doesn't mean like, bro, how many fights have we seen that are how many specifically how many Anthony Smith fights have we seen that are supposed to end inside the distance continue to go to decision? Like it just happens. It's super possible.
It's like Chris Curtis times Sammy Sosa.
Wait, what? He doesn't look anything like Chris Curtis.
It's like the beard and the hair combo, I guess.
It's like a Chris Curtis. All
right, Tim looks like. Let's go argue with the wound. Probably. It's probably what got him to the UFC. It looked really promising in the trailer park. So, anyways, we got Jacob Mamba Malkoun versus the Gilly Master Cody Brundage.
That's funny.
Yeah, Jacob Malkoun here. The Mamba mentality would be just take down your opponent, smother him for 15 minutes. I think the concerns about Jacob Malkoun's chin are widely overblown. Can I repeat? The concerns about Jacob Malkoun's chin widely overblown. In his debut fight against Phil Hawes, that he took what on short
Megatron.
notice, right? Short notice he took that shit because Robert Whitaker was also there. He gets knocked out in 18 seconds. That's a debut stunt. He didn't get warmed up. Life happens, gets hit in the face. Shout out Best Fight Picks for telling us what it is. The Brendan Allen fight, that shit was a robbery. I had Jacob Malkoun at like +2 something. He lands 7 takedowns on the grappler, is getting all in the business of Brendan Allen. And let's be honest here, Cody Brundage, while I think he could have success if this fight were to stay on the feet, I don't think he has the one-hitter quitter power of a Phil Hawes, even though he's improved his striking, and he's just going to end up jumping Gilly and being controlled by Jacob Malkoun. I think that the question here is does the lasting power of Jacob Malkoun's top control win out, or does the Brundage, I'll get knocked out from guard, I really don't care, win out? Because Brundage loves getting finished, and Malkoun loves winning by decision. So I think we're at a real contrast of styles. That's why the over-under is so hard to pick here. Malkoun, though, a -485. I mean, it should be safe, right? Famous last words.
I had a couple drunk plays ended up being tied into him with a parlay, so he's the last leg of a couple plays because I do think that he's safe. Not
Don't be silly,
advisable,
bro.
obviously. But yeah, no, we do not love TB's nicknames. Do stop encouraging this man.
We love TV. Hold
We
on, wait a
do-
second. We got multiple people about
We
TV's
do not
nicknames.
love these nicknames. He's
Team
like
Kick
a
MMA.
he's like that random rap name generator. It's terrible. It's
I hit 60% of the time. I'm solid every time.
Oh my god, that's awful. Your eyes got dilated by your boyfriend
Yeah.
over there, PC sauce. you better get them fixed. Oh my god. Shout out Sean, man. He's the man. Okay, Jacob the wet blanket Malkoun should lay on top of Cody Brundage here. If Cody Brundage wants to pull Gilly on Robert Whitaker's jiu-jitsu coach, you go right ahead.
Have fun.
I just don't think that's a good idea.
If you pizza when you're supposed to French fry, or
Sorry,
when you
you're
French
gonna
fry
have
when
a
you're
bad-
not supposed to, yeah, he's gonna have a bad time,
You're
right?
gonna have a bad time. Taking Cedric Dumas as a dog over Cody Brundage, that was very fun. Yeah, Rodolfo Vieira, tough fight. I guess Olajaychuk was like a 0 IQ type of fight. Yes, I mean only $5, man. Come on, you just became the UFC champion and you've only got $5 for your friends. That's what you got.
That's messed up, man.
That's messed up.
Hey, wait, is this another TB doppelganger, or am I just crazy because he's got a lot of chest hair?
Why do you see everybody in you? Yeah, I mean
not
maybe a
it's
little
not
bit.
Andre Arlovsky.
Maybe in like that serial killer dark full beard. Because when you know what's funny is like you look like all these fighters until all of you guys shave your faces and then none of you look like any of each other because a beard is not what a face looks like.
It's like
But
the
that's-
big like the square jaw into the beard effect, I think.
All right, handsome Squidward.
All right.
So
you got anything different here? You got Malkoun.
Yeah, and by decision.
Listen, I've seen the idea. Brundage round 1. Is there any entertainment? Because for me, there's none.
Sure. Why not? Because if you're gonna parlay Malkoun into everything,
Because he's not Phil Hawes.
No, but like you could take a little fly. I mean, instead maybe you take like the tiniest, not even grandma's couch cushion, like even less than that, just on the finish flyer, because at +370, you know the finish is going to be even greater, and that's his only chance. And of course, there's a chance of the finish in a fucking fight, but
That's true.
I think Malkoun's fairly safe here, and that's probably it. Then that's probably it for Brundage. You'd have to think.
Damn. Be like that sometimes. Sorry, Bruiser. You'll get him back next time. This is like the best part of the show for me, honestly. How ridiculous of a nickname can I come up with? And can I trick the guru into thinking it's a real one? And can I get the fan support
That's
behind it?
actually funny because for a quarter of a second, you had me on Revolver Ramos, and I'm like, that's not terrible because of the alliteration. But then I'm like, why would he be the Revolver? It doesn't really make any sense. And then I'm like, what are you doing, you dusty skeeter?
I love it. I love it. Oh man,
You
Skater.
you
All
little
right,
dibbler.
that's it. We're moving along. Guru's actually part of the DOJ.
You are the DOJ. You are the CEO of the DOJ.
Oh my
Don't even
god.
lie.
Well, we got Mohammed Motor Usman versus Jake the prototype Collier. Did they mix up the nicknames here? Or is it supposed to be like, is Mo Usman supposed to be the prototype? Because
Why
I
would
don't know what I'm
Jake
looking at.
Collier be the motor? The dude with 2.5 minutes of cardio.
So does Mohammed get both nicknames here?
Yeah.
Should I just slide it over? Should I just click and drag?
What is Mohammed Usman the prototype of? A refrigerator?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I don't
Or I
know.
mean, maybe Jake Collier's like the optimum male physique, and we just don't want to admit it.
That
He's
is true.
peak male athleticism. Minus 142 for the motor, plus 120 for the prototype. Legit though, pretty funny. Jake Collier does seem. I mean, listen, he had a shirt on still, so you don't really know until weigh-ins. But Jake Collier, is he gonna? He did look like he looked in a little bit better shape coming
Does
into
that
this.
matter here? I don't understand why that matters here.
I don't think it does. I think Mo Usman is just going to be the better athlete, and he's shown to have cardio and the ability not to get finished. I don't know. It's going to be ugly from distance. Like Collier is going to have the better volume, but for like 5 minutes, and Usman
Not
has shown
even,
he's going to
not even.
wrestle.
No,
So
not even. That's the thing. And what you saw versus Muhammad Usman, I thought I was really impressed with the Junior Taffa fight. Yes, it was a slop fight. Yes, Junior Taffa has very, very little experience, but that dude hits hard as fuck. He's tough as fuck. And Muhammad Usman had plenty of chances to give up, to call quits in that fight, right? I mean, he had plenty of opportunities to give up, and he grapple fucked, and he clawed, and he dogged his way to a victory.
you're telling me he did what Parker Porter couldn't?
I've watched Jake Collier give up fucking full mount to Chris Barnett and get smashed. Why do I not think that Usman is gonna smash him too? I have a feeling, and don't get me wrong here, I could be wrong. But after watching the line creep up towards Usman and then crash back down to minus 40 where it ended, I would not be surprised at all if Andrew Gambis is on Jake Collier. It just seems like his type of play, in my opinion. But I still like Muhammad Usman here.
Yeah, I get it.
I love Andrew, by the way. He could be total. I have no idea what he's on. So just a random thought of mine.
He's
I know
just
he moves
considering.
I know he moves lines. That's like fact.
That's damn true. Well, I think here is that the motor, he's going to be moving Collier into the cage and onto the ground as the fight progresses. It's not going to be pretty. I'm a little sketch of taking the overs in case anyone gets melted. But I lean towards Usman by decision. But Jake Collier, man, he's got the skills and the talent and the output to make it happen if he could put it all together. It's just 1-4 in his last 5 is not inspiring the most confidence against someone that they're clearly trying to give another win. You know, Usman, if he lost to Tafa, we might be speaking differently, but he showed he could withstand the power punches and get to his game. I don't see why he can't do that here. Yeah, safe to a decision.
Wait, did we read that part? If UFC lets Jake Collier fight in a Felicia Spencer style tank top, he'll go into. Yeah, I agree. I agree.
I don't see the fault in the logic. All right. We've got Mizuki Inoue Ichiro Mizuki versus the 24K OnlyFans special, Hannah Goldie. What's the going rate for her OnlyFans? That's what we need to
I
know.
think it's
But
only 10. I think it's only $10 a month, guys. You should go check
why
that
does
out.
Guru know that so quickly? That's messed up. Anyways, on the Ichiro side, coming off of a 3-year layoff for Mizuki Inoue, tore her ACL in the Amanda Lemos fight. But one of the only fighters to last to a decision with Lemos, even after being hurt. Hannah Goldie, she looks like physically buff, but like doesn't. But when does she ever like use that to her advantage from a striking perspective? Like, does she ever really hurt anybody? Because she likes to strike, but I don't. It's all decisionators. The random what she got like one armbar in her career against like the worst fighter ever. Was it Whitmire that she beat or something?
Yeah, she's a cocktail waitress now.
It's trash, but Mizuki here is getting the layup of all layups, coming in with a 4-inch. UFC stats updated it 65-inch reach, so I would like to pile their jazz, but Mizuki's going to have a 4-inch reach advantage here. She's the much better grappler. I think she should be able to overwhelm Goldie in the long run. Take a look at these losses on her record. I mean, back in the Invicta days when she's like, what, like 18, 19 years old as she's coming up, she's fighting Karolina Kowalkiewicz, Alexa Grasso, and going to decision with them, fighting Vina Jandiroba, going to a split decision in 2018, and fighting Amanda Lemos and going to a decision. I don't think Goldie's got
She's
anything for
got wins
Mizuki here.
wins over Beck Rollins in 2013. I mean, she's just been around, and she's still young. She's only 29.
Justin Horny Bonk alert in the chat. You need to chill. And Ghost. Yeah, I mean, I think she's got all the requisite talents here to make stuff happen. I really trust Mizuki. It could end up being like hindsight 2020, but I think if you're gonna look for a women's underdog on this card, this is the one fight where you don't look for even like a thought or a second. Like it's Mizuki all day here. That's what I got.
Yeah, unfortunately for the lovely Miss Goldie, she's gonna get smashed by Mizuki. Mizuki's been doing the best thing that she can be doing. She took time off after an injury. She had to move. Her visa was up. She had to move back to Japan. She's been training with the Shevchenkos. She's been training at at a Muay Thai spot in Thailand. She's been all over, staying sharp, continuing to get the work in. She has, like you said, worked with Weidman and Longo MMA over there in New York. That's where she had moved originally. I really do expect her to get it done. I wonder if they bring Hannah Goldie back. This might be the end of her contract. I'm not sure. Or maybe she 1, 2, 3. Well, maybe this is the start of a new contract. Actually, maybe it's the second fight of a new contract. Very curious where she is in her contract. So we'll see. It's been a while, obviously, for her. She had we didn't really talk about it. She got that brutal knockout loss to Molly McCann. And she, been again really tough, before that wasn't really an issue. I think it was just a huge moment and she just got shocked. I mean, it was pretty sick, that spinning elbow, no?
Yeah, it was, but at the same time, it's like to let yourself get spinning elbowed by Molly McCann means you have to be a certain level of fighter.
Well, listen, don't talk that. I mean, listen, come on. I mean, Molly McCann can fucking fight. The problem with Molly, of course, is that she can't stuff a takedown or do any jujitsu. But that's
Right,
not.
but Hannah Goldie, knowing that jujitsu is like her saving grace, like why didn't she do that?
Well, because she's
And
like,
she's not gonna submit Mizuki. I'm sorry.
no, she's not. So
So it's
she's got no
Dunzo.
chance. So I would consider parlaying, like, if you want to get really sketchy, your sketchiest people are like Mizuki, and then you got who was the other fighter? Malkoon, right? You're at minus like 180 there. And then if you want, you could throw in, I don't know, maybe you want to even throw in the next fighter. But
So we got the bring back the middleweight disaster of last week. We got Tamiris Thunder Vidal versus Montserrat, not Ruiz, Monster Randone. Tamiris Vidal, the last piece that Guru is potentially talking about at minus 230.
no, I got a better one. How about just the
Yeah.
Marina Rodriguez fight to go the distance?
There you go.
Comes to plus money.
Good job.
Minus 300, minus 500, and a minus 334 to plus 108, guys. Chalk,
Disgusting.
chalk, and more chalk. Delicious. Nom, 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 nom.
Tamiris Vidal in this matchup, the card opener, the prelim opener. It's Tamiris Vidal coming in after her dominant performance against Ramona Pascual, where she got landed on from every distance strike that Pascual threw, until Vidal said, I'm going flying knee to the body and making this happen. Lands one of the flukiest knockouts I've ever seen, quite frankly. And I don't think that that's even like the skill that gives her a chance in this matchup. It's not going to be flying knee to the liver. That's going to win Tamiris Vidal this fight. It's if Tamiris Vidal can get to her jiu-jitsu and grappling here. I think, Montserrat Rendon is going to be the more active fighter from distance. It's just she's so big, slow, robotic, and stuck in the mud. And like, why is she 34-5-0 with 2 split decision wins in her last 2?
She's built. Like, she's a specimen at 34.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what kind of vitamins she got going on, but
it might be enough to be worth interest at plus 190 against Tamiris Vidal, who fought someone who had no business being in the UFC, and Ramona Pascual, who forced to make the full weight cut, couldn't withstand the knee to the body.
Good. Vidal is not good at all.
She's not good.
She doesn't have good striking defense. She's not that strong. Neither of them throw in aggressive combinations. I actually thought Montserrat was like the more technical. Like if they both throw punches at the same time, Montserrat's landing first because Vidal's all winging bullshit. They're both willing to push up against the cage and start grappling. Like, this fight could be way closer than this line currently has it. There's just a lot of unknowns here.
Yeah, I agree. Quite frankly, if that fight plays out for longer, I think Pascual finds more success on the feet. It's just, it wasn't meant to be. She was the worst athlete and the slower fighter there. I just think that Rendon's size and athleticism can end up working to her advantage here. And as we've seen, when you're the smaller jiu-jitsu practitioner, it could be difficult to find your submissions against a bigger opponent. It's just Rendon doesn't really have the reach advantage that you're looking for. I think it's a sketchy one. But if there was any, spot that I would consider picking and playing the dog here, might be Rendon, but this is going to be one I need to see the face off. I need a little more information going in. So this is one I reserve my right to kind of switch around my entire thinking on the pick here, but I'm going to lean towards Rendon just by being the slightly busier and maybe more technical fighter.
Yeah, I certainly get it. Yeah, I probably feel that way too. I have no idea where I'm going to end up, though. I got to see face-offs and shit. It's a fight I really wish I didn't even have to pick. There's no way to, I don't even think, make money on it. Other than betting fight goes the distance, because I think they're both tough, and I don't see them getting a finish on each other.
Fair enough. Love it. Guys, please, so many of you in the chat right now, we appreciate you so much. Absolutely amazing group of people that are keeping our chat active, hilarious, and just an amazing time. Please, if you're one of those people in there that somehow haven't liked the video already, what are you doing? Please help us out. Please throw a like. It's the least you could do. It costs you nothing, and it helps us so much. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. There's got to be someone in here that is not subscribed already. Do the thing. Join us. Completely free. The best bets, best guests, always free picks.
Occasionally.
So sorry. Listen. We'll say it like this. We were supposed to have the steamroller, Matt Frivola, on tonight for the show. Unfortunately, he's a professional athlete with obligations. Charity dinners happen, especially last-minute stuff that you weren't prepared for. We appreciate him staying in contact. We're hoping to have him scheduled for a future date soon, but working on that behind the scenes. But regardless, so many of you guys still showed up, absolutely killing it in the chat and helping us break down this card.
Really, really appreciate all your guys coming to hang out with us these last 17 weeks in a row. It's been an absolute fucking blast. I remember in the past couple of years feeling maybe a little bit more burnt out. Of course, I'm like little excited for a break, but I'm honestly more gonna miss it. I don't feel super burnt out. I love fights. I love my opportunities. I love doing this podcast with UTB. I love hanging out with you guys in the chat. Um, Super fun, funny. We make money, we laugh, we have fun, we're all friends. I mean, I think it's really, really important that we all do this. It's a short life, it's a small world, right? Let's just be nice, be positive, and let's make some fucking money. And don't be like this guy. All right. Don't be like 4 ounces to freedom. Don't give it a thumbs down just to keep real, because that's not keeping it real.
We
I'm just kidding.
appreciate all
We
you
like
guys.
them anyway.
Oh, that's right. You got it. See, he takes it back.
Oh, we're friends. Okay. All right. He takes it back. All right. Good job, Zach. We appreciate you. Hey, AC, December 15th, CFFC, right? I'll see you
That's
there.
it.
We can make sure to not run into each other again.
James, thanks, man. We appreciate you. Need all of our new fans supporting the show like James tonight. Awesome stuff. Really appreciate everyone. Guru, finish us off, man. Here we go.
Wow, what a freaking card. What a run of fights. It's been a damn blast. Listen, make sure you're following damn it. Make sure you're following my unbelievable co-host, TB Scouting MMA, Twitter, Verdict, Instagram, Tapology, and Bet MMA. And you can follow me, Guru Scouting MMA, Twitter, Verdict, Instagram, Tapology, and Bet MMA.
Oh my God, the big reveal.
Make sure you check us out.
Search
Give
for
it
him.
a go. Do your thing. Listen, we'll be back. You know what's crazy? It's kind of crazy how it goes. We get a week off, and then they lull us back in with back-to-back UFC Vegas cards after leaving us with a UFC Vegas card. And then we get into 294, Makhachev Oliveira 2. Gonna be an exciting run, Q4. Looking forward to it. But take care, everybody, and we will see you 2 weeks.